Nashville, 1984, the site of the greatest satellite TVRO show to date. Meanwhile, the Discovery astronauts are circling the Earth, having successfully launched 3 communications satellites. The NFL season is underway with big wins by Miami and Denver, and millions are thinking about tomorrow and going back to work. But here in Denver, there's 8,000 people who decided they'd rather work on Labor Day. I'm Lloyd Covens, and I publish Channel Guide.
And I'm Ed Meek, and I publish Satellite TV Opportunities magazine. Bob Cooper insists that I'm scholarly, and he insists on sticking doctor in front of my name.
That's a lot better than what he sticks in front of my name.
Well, Lloyd, I'll see if he'll let you borrow his scholarly sometime.
Let's have a short scholarly discussion, Dr. Ed. Let's talk about how this year's awards were selected and how we'd like to see next year's handled.
Well, this year's awards were selected in true Cooper fashion with complete dictatorial authority by Cooper himself, who made the selections and also determined what would be said about each awardee.
But we have a better idea for next year. If you'll check the last page of your printed program that you should have got on the way in, you'll see an opportunity to make your own selections here for future awards.
Yes, indeed, and next year it's going to be better, Lloyd. We're going to have a committee, and Coop's going to be on it. I think you are, and maybe even me and some other people in the industry. But we're going to invite everybody in the industry to participate and to make nominations for the awards for next year.
That's something that's quite significant, actually, because even with big egos, there's a chance for us to sit down together and put together a slate of nominees. A great idea.
Yeah, it's going to be a good year, and it's especially important, I think, and significant that everybody in the industry, thousands of people across this country in this wonderful business, will have the opportunity to participate.
Instructions for nominating your choices for the 1985 awards are found on the back page of tonight's souvenir program. There are 10 plastic containers which are located in the exhibit hall by the booths of tonight's 10 co-sponsors, and you can deposit your own nominations there for 1984. You won't have to memorize anything, just fill out the back of the form and drop it in the plastic containers there in the exhibit hall.
This is the halfway mark in tonight's 5th anniversary birthday party, and there are 2 people on stage assisting us that we should recognize. One has been helping escort our guests to their positions of honor, and the other has been unmasking the caricatures which honor them for their contributions to our industry.
A young lady from Scotland, who I am told manages to run all of the CSD office single-handedly, is Carol Graba. Carol, will you please stand up and wave?
Thank you.
And if you ever get tired of all that heat and dampness down there, give me a call in Denver.
Okay.
Our second young lady is too young to work in Fort Lauderdale, but I understand she runs a very mean TV camera in some funny little island down in the Caribbean. Tasha Cooper, and her dad, of course, is Bob Cooper. And Tasha, come out and be recognized. Thank you. Tasha, if your dad becomes too difficult to live with, as he does with many of us often, come to Mississippi and we'll put you to work.
I will.
Finally, this last bit of information. Don Hunt Teleproductions is videotaping tonight's party and program, and those of you with a satellite terminal, are there any here? We'll be able to see this program once again this fall on the 5th anniversary on the evening of October 18th on a satellite to be announced in Satellite TV Opportunities, Channel Guide, and other media.
Thank you for including the others there, Lloyd. Now let's welcome a man who really knows his way around low-noise circuits, Jacob Enbar, California amplifier, who will make the next presentation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our 5th award tonight goes to a man that would probably not be offended if called maverick engineer or unorthodox inventor. It was during 1980, in fact in the summer, that the industry was going through a very difficult time to supply hundreds or maybe thousands of receivers. Manufactured rather poorly copies of broadcast receivers, cable receivers, shortage of components, whatever you want, and troubles. It was in the summer of 1980 at the SPTS show in San Jose that the gentleman came up with a receiver that has put an history sign on all those early designs and has introduced a concept to make receiver compatible with modern production techniques, saving major costs at a time and as much today, a very important factor. Can we roll the tape, please?
I didn't know how to start this thing off, but the 2 o'clock turkey gave me an idea. If you want to own a $10,000 spectrum analyzer to get your $100 receiver going, the self-oscillating mixers is definitely the route to go. However, if you want to have a receiver that has 6 adjustments in it, which if you screw 2 of them down tight and open 2 of them all the way, the receiver will hook up to the antenna and work, there's a different approach. With single conversion, you don't have all the mess of having an IF in the middle. Why put one in the middle? I mean, you got to have one at the end. Why put one in the middle? The biggest disadvantage that I see with single conversion is it's not very compatible with multiple receiver configurations. Another disadvantage of single conversion is it requires a tunable, you understand that tunable, that's the key word here, local oscillator that's high frequency. It's very easy to build a high Q, low phase noise oscillator, but everything goes to hell when you try to tune it. The image problems must be dealt with at 4 gigahertz. When you double convert, you have double images. If you want to go through the math, which I get lost every time on, I get lost in the simple things, you'll find that up here we have a signal and image, and down here we'll have a signal and image, but there will be a 90 degrees phase shift difference between these 2 ports. If we now run through another 90 degrees phase shift, in other words, you have to duplicate this hybrid again in the IF. And this is a 70 meg hybrid. It's very difficult to etch on strip line because it's very large. We then end up with our signal and our image. Oh, it's commercial time. I'm wearing this badge because if they promised me, this is Watkins Johnson, if I'd wear this badge, they might send me some parts.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Barker. A few more words about David, formerly of Arizona, today of Hawaii, has made an outstanding contribution to this industry in realizing the avenues to manufacture receivers cost-effective in a production environment. And for this, tonight, he gets his award. David.
Thank you. I really said all that? A couple things I really would like to say. The main reason I have been successful is I did just exactly what Tay Howard said. I came along with a low-cost design, kept it fairly simple and repeatable. And his prior talk on the videotape really said everything that I needed to say. There was one missing ingredient, though. Like a true engineer, I didn't understand marketing. I added up all of the parts costs to build this thing, took out an ad in Cooper's magazine, and people started calling me up and saying, how in the hell can you possibly offer this complete satellite receiver for $600? And I says, God, have I overpriced it? So I went back and thought it over again and sent out refund checks to people that had bought one in the past because I thought I did overcharge them. Anyway, so as things progressed, I have been quite successful, and I do want to say there is one other individual I'd like to acknowledge, and that was Paul Shuck. He didn't give me a lot of encouragement by helping me. He gave me a lot of encouragement by giving me a hard time. And this transpired at the 1979 show, where I went as a participant to sit in the audience, and like a true engineer, I didn't think I was getting my money's worth. I wanted all of the answers, so I had to go home and do it myself. But Paul's the one that I got to give credit to getting me started. Thank you very much.